Alright, you want to look at the sigil stuff, it's here, there's a lot to go through, it's pretty game changing, we have new DML sigils. So these things are these things here, as you can see from the DML Sigil System Explained video. This is partway through the video that shows a school of growth, a school of power, and a school of shelter that have these various sigils that are based in different things such as acceptance, witchcraft, daredevil, cruelty, and evasion. Those are quite a different set of sigils to have there. And these sigils give bonuses to our dragons. We're going to have a new campaign map sort of style thing, and a special campaign map, which that one is going to have a changing set of reward dragons in it as far as I can tell. And all of this is both in this video, and there is a massive forum post about it, so we will go through all of this. But before we go through all of this reading, I'm going to show you the video first, because hopefully having the visual images there will help all of this to make more sense. But essentially, think of it in a way like enchantment, how they give your dragon bonuses, but these actually impact individual, say, abilities or damage itself and the HP of dragons. It's a lot of complicated stuff. So, let us go ahead and see what Adam has to say.
Maybe you already spotted this tower in the waters of Dragolandia. It's here that you'll access new ways to increase the strength of your dragons and build new strategies for combat. I'm Adam, Community Manager for Dragon Mania Legends, and we're going to take a look at the Sigil system.
Hello!
Sigils are powerful relics that can be equipped to your dragons, not only enhancing their abilities, but some even alter the way a dragon fights. With sigils you can increase the damage dealt by a dragon, decrease the damage it receives, or boost the positive effect that a dragon casts.
So then, like I said, it doesn't just increase damage, it doesn't just increase health. There's also sigils that increase the positive effects that a dragon is casting, take things away, and there's some really weird synergies that you can have, but we'll go into that in a little bit.
Some sigils even allow your dragons to hit critically, sacrifice their own health for increased damage, or even return to combat after being defeated.
Okay, that one there's a pretty big one. Increase damage or return to battle after it has been defeated. So we've literally got resurrecting dragons now. And you can see that with these dragons that they've got here, they've got the little divines and ancients here. But you can see that each dragon has 2 sigils, and it seems like the sandcastle here has 2 rare ones, whereas the epic one here has a yellow sigil, which I'm assuming is an epic sigil, and a common sigil. The sigils have rarities. It's basically another form of currency with more loot boxes. Anyway.
With 3 sigil schools and 5 sigils in each school, you'll be able to customize your fighting team by choosing combinations that enhance your team's strength or build a team with interesting new strategies in mind. Dragons can only equip sigils that match their rarity or lower, so a common dragon can only equip common sigils, while an uncommon dragon can equip either common or uncommon sigils. Rare dragons can use rare or lower sigils, and of course epics can use all but the legendary sigils. And since legendary sigils are the most powerful and hardest to acquire, they can be equipped on only legendary, divine, or ancient dragons.
So this is basically just making legendaries, divines, and ancients even more OP than they already were, because your commons and your uncommons and your rares and your epics can only use their respective sigil rarities. But they say that the legendary ones are going to be hard to get. Does that mean pay to win only? Does it mean mostly pay to win only? That concerns me, considering these give such overpowered benefits, but let's see.
The more rare a sigil is, the more powerful its effect will be. Not only that, but each equipped sigil will also add a percentage boost to the HP of the dragon,
plus
also based on the rarity of the sigil. You'll equip sigils from within the dragon habitat screen, and each dragon can equip 2 sigils, though it's not possible to equip 2 of the same type. And if your team has 5 sigils of the same school equipped, then you'll also gain a Sigil Synergy that will apply a bonus to your team.
So they're talking about the Sigil Synergy, so these are the various schools of sigil, and they said that you can only have 2 sigils on a dragon, and they both have to be different sigils, and 5 of these on your main dragon team, so your main 3 dragons, I imagine. These will give you if you have 5 of them, they'll give you a special synergy bonus. So we have for the School of Growth, the Sigil of Growth schools are 25% stronger, so any of the sigils that you have equipped. So that is that one. For School of Power, each round, a random opponent loses 10% of its max HP. That could be huge. Sounds underwhelming, but we'll see. And then the final one that we have is the School of Shelter, which dragons on the team take 25% less direct damage. Notice how it says direct. But 25%? That's a big decrease. That's scary even.
School of Growth Synergy increases the effect of all equipped sigils from this school. The School of Power Synergy deals damage to a random opponent each turn. And lastly, the School of Shelter Synergy reduces the amount taken from direct damage. At first you'll mostly have access to only common and uncommon sigils, but as you collect more and more, you'll be able to fuse matching sigils together to exchange them for an upgraded version of the same sigil. This fusion costs sigil trinkets, as does unequipping or changing sigils. So how do you actually collect these sigils? The majority of your sigils will come from the Sigil Tower, where you can collect a daily key. With 3 of these keys you'll be able to open a sigil chest within the tower and earn yourself a steady supply of sigils and sigil trinkets. For a real challenge you'll want to head into the Sigil campaign, where players will face tough battles. Only dragons equipped with at least 1 sigil can take part in the Sigil campaign battles. And though sigil chests are available as rewards, the focus here is on testing your skills against other opponents equipped with sigils, so make sure you pick your strongest dragons to take part.
So with this new sigil campaign that they're showing here, they went through the drop rates for the sigil keys, as in they said 1 a day. You can open the chests, and at first we're probably going to have mostly common sigils instead of the legendaries. But this campaign map here, I believe it's been answered on the forums. This will be based on the level of your current dragons. So, say for me, mine are going to be max level, max enchant, and now all the opponents are probably going to be level 100, max level, max enchant with sigils. Whereas if you're, say, your max dragon level is like 40, you're probably going to face around about level 40s on this campaign map. Maybe eventually it goes up to 100, but it sounds like they're trying to make it roughly to your dragon's level, so every person can actually take part in the campaign map, because otherwise that would feel kind of sucky for a majority of the players. But you can see on this map here that as we're going, it seems like you can get a sigil chest from specific fights, so that's going to be pretty cool, how you're actually going to get really cool rewards for finishing these battles, because mostly in the battles in DML, like on the campaign map, it just gives you more food and more gold, not really anything else. So I kind of like this.
This is a short yet challenging campaign map, but if you manage to defeat the final boss before the season finishes, then you'll also unlock the reward dragon, which will change on a monthly basis. The sigil system is our biggest ever change to the combat of Dragon Mania Legends, so we're excited to see what kind of combinations DML players can conjure up. Let us know in the comments what you think of these sigil powers and which dragons you'll be adding sigils to first.
That is basically it there. Thank you there, Adam. So they said right at the end here that you can get this final reward dragon if you finish the whole campaign, which will change monthly. And this is a pretty cool looking dragon, which we've seen him in game. So that is the general gist of how they work. Think of them kind of like enchantment when that first came out, that you can only use sigil dragons or sigiled dragons on the sigil map, as in the sigil campaign map. So you will have to equip your dragons with sigils to be able to actually do these fights. So for me, that's probably going to be like Andy the Autumn Dragon. It's going to be our Hermes Dragon and probably our Lantern Dragon in those slots, unless we want to, unless Ikaz gets fully upgraded and enchanted in time, because this isn't out right now, but it will be out with the new update. So that was the video itself. Now we have the actual text log of this. Again, it is very long. It is very complicated compared to a lot of stuff in game, but I know that there are a few people that don't really want super complex combat, and I get why this could potentially be kind of scary. I don't think it's actually that complicated at the end of the day. As long as you know what the sigils do and what bonuses they give, it'll probably make a lot of sense. So They're talking about how this is going to be one of the biggest changes in the game for a while. It's true, certainly seems like it. You've got various strategies with different sigils that you can do. Yeah, we've seen that. They talk about the Sigil of Daredevil has a curious effect too, sacrificing the health of the user to provide a damage boost to its attack. And we've seen that with a lot of dragons before, like the Rocker Dragon, for example. Because of his elements, he has really, really low HP, but has pretty high damage at the end of the day. Again, this is for a non-exception, non-divine, non-legendary dragon, of course, but we do tend to see more attack-based dragons used in DML rather than more defensive ones, because up till now, if you just have super aggressive dragons, most enemies can die in 2 hits, especially with like Autumn Dragon into Plant from Hermes. It's just been plant, everything pretty much dies. This could change that. This could change all of our existing strats. So, here we go. Sigils come in one of 5 rarities: uncommon, common, rare, epic, and legendary, which affects both the strength of the effect that is applied as well as the additional HP bonus that is gained when equipping a dragon with a sigil. So the legendary ones are going to give bonus HP, and the effect of that sigil will go up considerably. So then they're talking about the sigils only being able to be given to the dragon of the same rarity or below, blah, 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 blah. And then onto School of Growth. We went through that. Boost the effect of all equipped School of Growth sigils. We saw that in the video. Blah, blah, blah. There's a separate sigil campaign. Again, I'm glossing over most of this because we just saw this in the video. So, to collect rarer sigils, you will need to fuse lower quality sigils together. Through fusion, you'll be able to combine multiple copies of the same sigil into a single higher quality version, using up some of your sigil trinkets in the process. So there are sigil trinkets, you use these along with, you know, the same sigil type to turn it into a big sigil. So that is essentially how enchantment works. More or less the same thing. Now, onto the actual list of sigils and what each of them do. And again, you put 5 of these together, which for one individual dragon, it has to be 2 different ones, and then you will get the special bonus. So, we have Sigil of Defiance. All negative effects targeting the dragon are weaker by a percentage based on the rarity. Sigil of Havoc. Area damage skills, so AoE, I'm guessing, skills cast by this dragon are stronger by a percentage based on the rarity. So that would be one that I would put onto my Lantern Dragon, for example, or Ra Dragon, if you've got the better version of him. Sigil of Purity. The higher the dragon's HP is, the bigger the damage bonus it gets to a percentage based on the rarity. That's quite scary, because now all of the super defensive dragons that had like Void and Metal, suddenly it seems like they might have as high of an attack stat as some of the actual attack heavy dragons, which is a scary thought. But we don't know the percents yet. I'm terrified what the legendary one might be. Sigil of Rebirth. When the dragon is defeated, it returns to battle with a percentage based on the rarity of its original HP. So that is the Rebirth one. That one could be interesting, but I feel like this is going to be more of a gimmicky sigil, because if your dragon gets defeated and comes back to life, wouldn't you rather just have it, instead, just have a super OP sigil that just kills the enemies quicker? I don't know. This one I'm iffy on. Sigil of Subdue. A percentage chance based on the rarity to mute the sigils on the primary target of an ability for 1 turn. Again, this is, I feel like this is more of a gimmicky one, but it could actually be pretty good. The fact that it mutes the sigils means that you can just go, this dragon, I want this one out of the way, mute it, immediately murder it. Could be basically an instant, like, KO, depending on how these percentages all work out. So that one could actually be kind of good. School of Shelter. So Sigil of Acceptance. Positive effects on this dragon are stronger by a percentage based on the rarity. So if it gets buffed with Bless, Ancient, Restorative Recourse, things like that, they're going to be stronger than normal. That's scary. Don't like the sound of this one, as in depending on how all of these sigils combine with one another, if you have a super defensive dragon, that's a scary thought. Sigil of Cruelty, a percentage chance based on the rarity to strike critically and deal extra damage. Oh my god, we've got crit hits. Okay, I get more like Pokemon every day now. Critical, let's not do this. Oh, that's scary. Okay, I'm not even going to think about that. Sigil of Daredevil. The dragon sacrifices a portion of its HP for a percentage boost based on rarity to direct damage of an attack. And again, we've seen this before. You give up a little bit of HP, but you get a ton of attack in response. This one, depending on the percentages, depending on how it works, is quite scary. Because, again, with this, we don't know what the percentages are going to be, and we've got all of these ancient dragons and all these exception dragons. This, if it goes crazy with some of the numbers, could just end up one-shotting enemy dragons or your own dragons, so this one scares me a little bit. I'm going to wait for now and see what we actually get out of these after testing, but this one sounds like it could be OP. Sigil of Evasion, a percentage chance based on the rarity to dodge almost all of the damage of an opponent's attack. Again, a percentage chance, it depends on these percentages, but being able to avoid incoming damage is pretty good. And I guess this would work as it normally does with enemy dragons, how you just keep replaying the fight until eventually it misses 7 times in a row. In which case, that could be a gimmicky way of finishing the map super easily, so keep that one in mind. And Sigil of Witchcraft. All negative effects cast by this dragon are stronger by a percentage based on the rarity. Now, oh god, immediately I think Freya, I think wind, I think about the, the reduction in damage that they use with the wind attack with this. That's going to make battles painfully slow. Oh, a lot of these just make it seem like battles might end up just taking like 10 minutes to actually finish, but that one also very scary. There's School of Shelter sigils here. Some of them are a little bit scary, not gonna lie. Then School of Growth. Sigil of Berserker. The lower the dragon's HP is, the higher bonus damage it receives, up to a percentage based on the rarity to its direct damage. And this sounds similar to the other one, except they get this bonus instead of giving away their HP. This is based on the lower its HP is, but for that you'd have to take at least one hit, so you'd have to rely on the dragon not getting one shot for this to be actually valuable. And with so much plant and shadow, it's going to be you take the first hit of damage, then you'd have to survive the second hit of damage, and then you'd be able to do a lot of damage, which in that scenario could be pretty good, but I don't know if these dragons are going to be surviving for that long against some of these, unless they have the super defensive ones attached like this one. I guess it is part of the growth sigil tree, which gives us bonus defense, so maybe. In Sigil of Chi, the dragon regenerates a percentage based on rarity of its max HP when a dragon is defeated. This sounds kind of like water, except you get to use an attack, you get to defeat it and gain HP back, but again that relies on you actually killing the dragon. But could be useful. Sigil of Mirror, a percentage chance based on rarity to mirror a negative effect, targeting the dragon back at its caster. Very gimmicky. Sounds very gimmicky to me. And again, it is percentage based, so I need these percents to work out how good they actually sound in practice. Sigil of Turtle. Area damage attacks, so AoE attacks, deal less damage on the dragon by a percentage based on rarity. Interesting. Only area damage attacks. Sounds not as good as I was hoping in that case. Then Sigil of Wonder. All positive effects cast by this dragon are stronger by a percentage based on rarity. So that one will increase buffs. Could also be kind of scary. And with this, remember that we are also going to be getting whale mark deals every single week, apparently, that will give us the chance to get sigils, but are these going to be gem only deals? Are these actually going to be realistic deals that we can get? Are they ever going to give us the chance for legendary ones? Who knows? But this listing of sigils here, and I maybe want to like favorite the page and read through them, because it's a lot to get your mind around. And plus, you've got to choose which one of these you want to put on your team, because then you've got to think, okay, I've got Andy. Which one's going to benefit Andy the most? Is he going to benefit from having bonus HP? Is he going to benefit from coming back to life? Is he going to benefit from taking away some of his HP and giving him just tons and tons of damage? I think this is going to be really fun if there's a way to test all of this out. But from the sounds of it, with all these trinkets and the way that we actually earn these, I'm worried that the actual strong sigils that are necessary to either beat the map or face opponents are going to be locked behind paywalls or made extremely difficult to get, because, you know, there's still some people now that struggle to get enough enchantment materials to just 8-star their dragons, and then you add this on top. Kind of scares me. And people have been asking, are sigils going to be a part of castle events? And Adam said he can't confirm it right now, but you should expect to see these sigils in the entire game. So you should expect to see them in the Enchantment League, you should expect to see these sigils on the regular map, not even just the sigil part of the map, the arena, every part of regular battles you should expect these. But I don't know, I've seen people posting images of all of these different sigil campaigns and some of the bonuses. For example, here, if I drag over the Discord page, here's what someone's posted here. The fusion fused together 5 sigils of the same type to create a higher rarity. The common Daredevil, the dragon sacrifices 15% of its HP for 20% of direct damage boost with each attack. That's the common one. And then the uncommon version, the dragon sacrifices 15% for 40% of direct damage boost with each attack, and that gives plus 32% max HP. So already, at uncommon, that's 40%. So if we think for each rarity we're adding 20% plus 16% max HP, we can probably guess what those numbers are going to be, but we don't know for sure. I'm not going to assume, but this makes me think that if you just don't have these legendary sigils, you're screwed, is what it feels like to me. I really hope that that's not the case, because in which case that just sets the game to become completely pay to win. Because at the moment we've got these pay to win dragons with these overpowered abilities and ancients that are just better than divines because they resist things. And then if you give these super OP ancients these sigils that can only be gotten if you pay 5,000 gems for a legendary one, honestly, this could genuinely make or break the game, to the point where people just will not play. So I'm hoping that it gets implemented fairly. I hope that it gets implemented in a way where all players can enjoy the feature. If it's pay to win, I can't see this actually being a positive in any possible respect for the game. So please, I beg, please, don't do what I think you've done and make these legendary sigils be able to be acquired by everyone. I beg. But anyway, that is everything. Let me know what you think. Again, you can join the Discord server if you want to chat about it. People are just sort of going off about it at the moment and sort of, you know, thinking about all the questions that weren't answered yet, all the potential implications, things like that. There's also this forum here where people have been asking questions, and you can see what Adam responds. And again, Adam says he can't give much info on when the update will be going live just yet, but I'm assuming it's not going to be too far away, because they did say it's the next update, so it won't be millions of months away, it'll be soon enough. But, you know, I highly suggest you go through and you answer, or you go and read through these questions. Maybe if you've got any yourself, go and ask Adam. But that is basically it for now. So I hope it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, well, I'm sure it will when you actually get to using them. But for now, take care. Until next time. I will see you then.